Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Suikoden 2 walkthrough. Alright, so we're actually starting out here in the Rakute Mountains. And I just have a little footage here of obtaining the Turtle Plans number 3. Now, that actually drops from the Hawkmen there, so keep that in mind. I did get a black urn as well in there. That is from the Spiker enemy. Here's a killer rune drop. This is in the... Is this Kiaro or something like that? The forest. Anyway, this is right where we obtained Shiro and Kinnison. That's from the woodpecker enemies. So often you'll get into fights of, I think it's either 5 of them or 6 of them. I don't remember exactly what that formation looks like, but generally I just run around right here. And then anytime I get into a fight with really anything else, I just let it go. I just don't think that any of the other enemies are worth bothering with. So it looks like here I'm trying to get that formation to come up, but I'm not sure if that actually ended up happening or not here. So we'll stay tuned. I've got a little bit more footage from this area. So again, potentially we might actually be able to see that formation, but I'm not sure if I actually got that on camera or not. So I guess stay tuned. So I do want to point out, this is still, I haven't really gone anywhere, I should say I haven't gone any further with the storyline. In the previous video there we recruited Futch and Humphrey. I always want to try to combine their 2 names for some reason and say Hutch. I don't know why. But anyways, so we picked them up, and obviously we had to take advantage of the Matilda glitch. Again, I believe that was in the last video. It might have been the one before. I don't know how many I've actually done now of that little trick. But, you know, once you actually get a hold of them, I actually haven't, come to think of it, I haven't finished the Rakute Mountains. I wanted to, now, to be honest, at this point, now I can. I've got that, what was it, the Turtle Plans number 3, and then one of those black urns. And there isn't anything else that comes out of that mountain that's missable other than maybe the chest. Here is the woodpecker fight, and it is 5 of them. So again, these guys are the ones that drop the killer rune. I actually really like the killer rune. It's one of the more powerful ones in the game, where it you know, it allows you to get critical hits more often. So here is outside on the map. That's the Gale room that comes from the. I can't remember what the name of the enemy is. It's the guy that looks like a spiker, except it's a yellow colored enemy. And this is the Muse rune shop rare finds. So every once in a while you'll get a fury rune there. Otherwise it'll be a water rune. I would say every time that you're trying to get these, make sure you save in the inn, and then come and talk with the rune master. Check if it's got rare finds, and if it's got a fury rune in there, you're good to go. If not, you'll have to restart your game. It's very important, though, for one thing, don't talk to the rune master first before you save. Because once you talk to that rune master, that's what starts the half an hour timer. And in that half an hour, its inventory will not change. So you will be stuck with whatever rare finds it had at the time of of speaking to that person. So again, very important. Make sure that you save first before you talk to these NPCs, and that goes for all of the NPCs that have rare finds. You always make sure that you save first, then talk to them, and if it's got the rare find you want, again, you're good to go. If not, you need to reset your game. And again, you are locked in for a half an hour on those rare finds. So again, very, very important to remember that. A lot of this stuff, though, especially like this Fury Rune, is extremely rare. So if you're resetting your game and you're just not getting it to pop up, again, as long as you haven't talked to that NPC and locked in, you know, that the items there for a half an hour, you just got to keep trying. I know it can be extremely frustrating and time-consuming, unfortunately, but that's how the rare finds work. So here we're back in Todo Village. I actually wanted to recruit Zamza at this point. Now, I believe you need to have Nanami with And I think this guy can be recruited later too, but there's no sense in waiting. You might as well just grab him now. Okay, so I like that this guy starts out and he's all like, I don't have time to talk to you. And then Nami, says something like, oh, we didn't need you anyway. And then he's like, wait, what do you mean you don't need me anyway? She kind of ends up playing off of his ego, and I don't think she actually really meant to do that. So, kind of just funny, funny how that worked. Maybe he's got a little bit of an insecurity issue here. But, let's see here. It looks like I took Humphrey and Futch back out. Actually, that must not be the case. I think this is actually separate footage of a second game that I started. So actually, prior to this scene was all my original game, and yeah, definitely. And at this point, I swapped over to my secondary playthrough. I guess it's not. I don't think it's all that important to know that. It's just it probably looks goofy because I don't have Humphrey and Futch. If you're watching all these little clips back to back. But again, this is kind of where my my playthrough transitions to my newest game. All right, so this is back in the Rock Axe area. This is kind of the. Oops, sorry, no, that's my bad. This is the Muse Green Hill border, so this actually is the Muse area. To be honest, there's not much to do over here. I think I'm just trying to think over here. This is okay. The sickle. So this is the guy that drops the Gale rune from earlier. I don't think I actually got one to drop on this particular battle, but I guess sort of useful information to have. The Gale rune. I'll be honest. I don't suspect I'll use that at all. I don't ever find it to be that useful. It does increase your speed by, 1.5% or something like that. So, I don't know. So most of the characters are, I guess the ones that I use a lot are fast enough, I would say. And just getting a little bit of extra speed, I usually don't feel like it's worth sacrificing potential power, I guess is kind of what it boils down to, because in order to take that Gale rune, that means that you're using up that rune slot, and you could do something else there, like a double beat rune, or like a Fury rune to go for Berserk. Again, there's just a ton of other, I would say, way better runes to use. That's kind of going to be the case with the Hazy rune. Eventually, I picked up a Hazy rune somewhere, but I shouldn't say somewhere. I know where it came from. One of them came from, I got super lucky at the beginning of the game there when Captain Raud was, or actually else. There's the recipe number 20. I just wanted to get that on camera. That's a recipe that we won't be able to do anything with for quite some time. That's the same with all the turtle plans, dragon plans, all that other stuff. But it's I guess it's important to get that stuff on camera. But anyways, back to rune stuff. The Hazy rune, like I said, I actually did get really lucky and got one on the off of the Captain Raud fight. There's actually I think it was previous to his battle. There's a battle there with a couple of soldiers, and I think it's like the Lancer or something like that has it. So I got one there, and then I did end up getting some later on from the Shadow. Is it Shadow Dog? I think is the name of the enemy. That's right around the like the mercenary fort area, and so I got kind of lucky with that too. And then I actually did pick up a Celadon urn eventually, and those come from the bonbons around that same area. So kind of if you wanna farm that area, it's got some decent stuff. There's recipe 25 from the rare items. Actually, I have to sell some stuff here because I apparently used up all my cash on other things. Now, the good thing here, and actually what I'm going to end up doing, is I think I went out and just farmed. And like I had mentioned earlier, Basically, when you talk to that shopkeeper or the merchant, that locks in your rare finds for a half an hour. So as long as you get back to him, if you don't have enough money, as long as you get back to him within that half an hour, you're fine. And they'll still have it. So that's exactly what I did there. Anyways, all right, so this is the path to Matilda. We actually can't do anything here. Or I should say we can't go through this way because these knights block our path. But if you go and use the Matilda glitch and go up into the rock axe area, you can actually enter this path from the other side and collect all the treasures, which is exactly what we're going to do here. These enemies have I think it's a recipe, and eventually I'll get footage, or I've got footage of obtaining that as well. But I just, keep in mind that those guys have a recipe too. And then there's some other noteworthy encounters here, and I'll try to speak about those once we actually come across them. Alright, so one thing I actually want to mention right now is the hero as well as Joey have basically 3 open slots right now. And I really like the combination of the double beat rune, the fury rune, and the killer rune. So you get to attack multiple times, and you're berserked, so you hit harder, and then the killer rune increases your crit hits. So it's pretty crazy right now. Unfortunately, those two won't be able to take advantage of that forever, as they will actually each get a rune, actually basically a permanent rune affixed to them during a certain storyline that's coming up, or a storyline event coming up, sorry. And so unfortunately, that's not going to last forever, but it is what it is. But anyways, alright, so this is a fight with, I think this is Papa Holly as well as 3 Holly Boys. Now, the Holly Boys, if I'm remembering correctly, these, or if I have that name right, these guys are located throughout the game. And here specifically, though, in the, I think this is the Green Hill Matilda Pass? Hopefully I've got that right. They have a specific drop that I wanted to get, which is the boulder set. It's an item that's not going to be useful for quite a while, and it's really probably arguable whether it's, or whether the word useful is accurate at all, but it's interesting, I guess. But anyways, that'll come into effect later. Now, if you notice there, I did get a dragon armor from one of the treasure chests, so that's actually just slightly better than I think it's the scale mail that you're able to buy in Rock Axe. So I'm just gonna put that on the main, or on the hero. Wow, it's kind of funny that Nanami and Joey have Humphrey out-leveled. I suspect that's because Humphrey got carried away by Hawkmen multiple times in the Rakuti Mountains. But anyways, so again, I did end up getting a boulder set. I don't know if I've got footage of that or not. I guess we'll stay tuned for that. But I think that might have been all of the treasures in this area. There is an NPC here that's recruitable eventually, but not quite yet. So we'll have to remember where he's at and come back later and grab him. And I don't think on this pass I got very lucky with drops. Yeah, I think I got kind of skunked on the actual items that I wanted. And so we actually haven't run across them yet, but there is a group of enemies, and they look like little elf things. And I didn't have the boulder set right there yet, so I don't know why I let those Holly Boys go, because that's actually the best formation for getting that. The Papa Holly actually has another item that's useful, which is the seed potato, but I don't think we can actually get that to even drop yet, because at least I think that's the case. and strictly because we don't have a certain NPC yet, which is, it's kind of goofy. I mean, you know, there's other items in the game that are sort of like that, where, you know, that you can't really use them until you've got a certain NPC, but they still drop. So I don't really know why they flagged certain ones like that, but, you know, whatever. There's a guard ring. We're actually able to buy those in Rock Axe, so that's not anything real impressive. And this is the recruitable character. And again, unfortunately, we're not able to recruit him quite yet. So we'll just have to keep in mind that he's here. All right, so this is the elves that I was talking about earlier. They dropped the sound set number 2, and I don't know, the sound sets. I don't know. They're kind of worthless, but you know, if you want to collect them all for collection's sake, then, you know, they've got one of them, which I will do. I'll try to, you know, get a hold of at least one of every item that I can. So unfortunately, that includes the sound sets. So I think that's around a 2% drop rate or something like that. So, you know, plan on farming here at least for a little while. I think it took me a little while to get it, so not that battle. So all right, looks like there's a little bit of a loop here, and I think now I think I had actually said this before, but I think now we've obtained all the treasures in this area. Okay, looks like I must have got up to go do something else right now. There we go. That didn't take too long. Not really one of my legendary AFKs there. Okay, nothing up there. Getting lucky with these zombie slugs, though. Like I said earlier, they actually need to get a hold of one of their items, and you know, it wasn't like I wasn't having any issues getting them to pop up, that's for sure. But getting them to actually drop what I need, on the other hand, it's a different story. This looks like a dead end too, nothing there. And I think this is the final screen. And yeah, this is where the knights are at. So this is basically a one-way. We're actually able to walk from the north to the south, but not the other way. So yeah, I mean, basically we've got this area completely explored. Wow. Oh, there's the boulder set. Again, that comes from the Holly Boys. And I think I was farming right here on the edge. Oh, looks like I have sound set 2 in there already too. So it looks like, yeah, I must have not taken footage of me actually obtaining that sound set 2. But again, that comes from the Do-Re-Mi elves. So again, if you're looking for that, you know, good luck. So here I'm actually just going to explore the Green Hill region a bit. I don't think there's really anything to do here. I guess you could check in at the shops, you know. But if you've already been to Rock Axe, I think even the shops now look kind of drab. This is Wakaba. We're not actually able to recruit her either for quite some time even. But again, you know, we can keep. I was pretty I really wanted to try to recruit her. That's odd that the armor shop is actually closed here. Actually, I shouldn't say that that's odd. I actually kind of noticed that in, I think the Muse blacksmith shop is closed. It looks like the armor shop here is closed as well. So, what it looks like they did was they really wanted you to focus on, you know, kind of like the current storyline objectives as opposed to going out and exploring, because again, you just really can't get anything in the areas that you kind of can get to. And that's pretty common for RPGs. You know, they want you to follow, you know, certain storyline events and generally not get too OP like we've already done with that with the Matilda glitch. So, you know, they tried to keep us from being OP, but it just didn't pan out for them. But all right, so this is Tony in here. Tony again, he's another one of the characters that we're actually just not able to recruit quite yet, and it'll be a while before we can pick him up. But he is, I think, the guy that you need to work your. I think it's to work your garden. So things like I had mentioned earlier, the seed potato. I think once you actually obtain him, you can actually get that stuff to drop. So, you know, I guess keep that in mind. This is a trading shop. I can't remember if you're required to do trading in this game or not. We'll see. Well, I guess we'll probably kind of cross that bridge once we get there. But I know in other ones, and I just might be, you know, confusing my Suikoden games, but I believe in other versions of, or in, I should say, just in other Suikoden titles, you actually have to do some trading and, you know, potentially make a certain amount of money by trading, and you know, and usually that unlocks, you know, a character. But this one I can't remember, so again, we'll kind of cross that bridge once we get there. This is Coronet Town, yeah, Coronet, and we can actually sharpen our weapons here, so we will do that. I think this blacksmith in town can sharpen up to level 5. Yeah, here's the blacksmith shop. And then, you know, if you need to embed runes, yeah, actually, it looks like I've already got my down runes on the weapons for the characters that I really wanted to get them on. Obviously, the main character in Nanami, I really wanted to get down runes on them first. Joey as well, though, because Joey's kind of a baller right now. But, anyways. Alright, so let's get these up to level 5, and we'll be done. I know Humphrey's weapon is already, like, rank 12, and then I don't know what Futch's is actually at right now, but because I actually haven't completed the entire Rakute mountain, I'm not able to actually do anything. So, much like their gear, you can't, you know, remove it until you've actually officially recruited them. And I think it goes with the same with their weapons. I don't think you can actually sharpen their weapons until you've got them recruited. That little hut there is where a character is to be recruited later. Again, I feel like a broken record here. We're not able to recruit anybody. But we'll come back later and pick them up there. I think that's it for Coronet. I mean, honestly, I think really the only thing that's useful here is, you know, the blacksmith to sharpen our weapons. So, I guess it could be a decent idea to take some of your other characters here. So, like, go back to the mercenary fort and, you know, just pick up some of your other characters and bring them down here to sharpen their weapons. Yeah, you know, kind of. I could probably make a case that that's a decent idea. Although now we're so overpowered with the main character and Nanami specifically that they're gonna dominate or just kind of decimate everything in their path anyway. So, you know, I guess maybe don't worry about sharpening random characters' weapons. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm just kind of trying to look around here and see if there was anybody or anything that I missed, but I think this is it. So I'll probably just save my game here and then kind of call it a day. Yeah, because we're about out of time. So as always, hope the guide was helpful and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.